Namaste. I am Jyoti, founder, director of Ajanta Vihara Institute of Spiritual Sciences. Today we are focusing on new moon. It is September, and for those of you who have been watching my videos regularly, in the month of July, I had mentioned that July, August, and September are 3 months of a lot of energy shift in our work, cleansing, purging, and we will experience a lot of dense energies either regularly, continuously, or every now and then. There'll be fluctuations in our moods, and we might experience a lot of negative space. So, here, good news is September is almost half over, and we are moving towards the full moon of September. Nothing, as far as the energy fields are concerned, for that matter, anything, nothing happens abruptly, suddenly. Like you say, okay, second, it's going to happen in second. Or you say that, like a lot of people say, oh, your sufferings are going to get over by this time, or the planetary positions are like that. It doesn't happen that way. I mean, even if you look at any demography also, right? When you're moving from one town to another, one city to another, one province to another, the culture, the language, the dialects, the food culture, everything just doesn't change like that. It's not like from one province to another, you're moving from one state to another, you're moving and it's going to be suddenly changing. No, there's a transition, there's a borderline, there is inflow and outflow of cultures, of habits, of um, anything for that matter. So, same way, when we mention that, the energy of September or the energy of July or the energy of October, it doesn't mean that there's going to be a sudden shift overnight. That means transitioning. What helps is the awareness. And the reason why these updates are there, whether it's my updates that you listen to or updates of other people, there's so much of knowledge and wisdom available out there. You just need to filter it out and understand what resonates best with you, right? All these energy updates are for you to come into awareness of what's happening around you in environment. There are 3 ways to experience true abundance. There are 3 ways to experience true healing. There are 3 ways to experience a high frequency existence, call it ascension, call it enlightenment. One is by connecting to the wisdom of the ages. All kind of knowledge, wisdom, information available out there. When you get that, you come into an awareness. Information and knowledge can help you come into that. Wisdom can make you come into that awareness. Wisdom that's available out there. Acceptance is something that takes a while, and it's an internal journey. Once you allow the allowance to happen, once you let the allowance happen, that's where you start moving from a whole transition of information to knowledge to wisdom, right? Wisdom comes when you start to apply the knowledge, when you start to process the information, and when all this information that you're processing, all this knowledge that you are applying into practice brings you an understanding beyond your own narratives about happiness or suffering or pain or fears. When you start to look at the bigger meanings to things, to life, to existence, the deeper, the larger understanding of self, going beyond just our name, our identity by means of our name, our position, our power, our social status, our family name, our profession, our career. These last few months have been all about that journey. Now, as we move forward, I thought I'll bring you some more insights to help you align yourself to these shifting energy dynamics that are happening. First dimension was wisdom of the ages. Second is through our environment, through the nature. Have you been connecting with the environment, with nature, talking to the nature? I know it sounds silly. For some of you, it might be very weird to sit there and actually talk to a tree, talk to a plant, talk to insects, talk to, animals, or talk to the wind, or talk to the water. It is only a conditioning. It is only certain narratives that we hold on to, which helps us understand life in a certain way. And most of us like to understand life, from how it has been told to us or how we see others experiencing it. Most of us do not want to go beyond that because fear drives us. All kinds of fears drive us. So environment is very, very important. And once you let go of that reluctance, once you let go of that narrative that it's not possible to talk, or even if I talk, they're not going to respond, or, plants and water and insects and all, they have nothing to contribute to my life other than balancing my ecosystem, nothing to contribute to my emotional healing, my physical healing. That's not true. We are all energy, we are vibrations. Every vibration coming out from every being affects us. So whichever collective vibrations are much more powerful and we are tuned into that, we'll get impacted by that. And most of us are tuned into vibrations of pain because we've got attachment to pain, attachment to fears. We carry trauma bonds. We carry deep-rooted, energy of suffering into our cellular memory. So that is why it is very important for us to connect with environment and allow ourselves to connect with energy fields which are healing, by default, which are healing. And there's so much available out there. I mean, look at birds. Have you ever watched birds chirping in the morning or closing the day at the time of sunset? I sit in my beautiful garden looking at these birds chirping, and there's a beautiful sync there. And if you just surrender to that and allow those vibrations to come in, trust me, there's a different kind of healing, different kind of peace that you'll be able to experience. Plants, trees, insects, everything. They are carrying their own energy field. They're carrying their own vibrations, which are so beautifully synced to each other, so beautifully aligned. So at any point, if we need to experience healing, we need to allow that energy of healing to go inside, to release that energy of suffering from our system, from our physical body, energy body, for our emotional body. This is one of the best ways of doing it, And third, of course, is life. When you allow various narratives, good, bad. There's nothing called bad, maybe good and not so good, you allow those experiences to let you move in or move out of suffering. So last 3 months have been all about it. I'm sure many of you out there are able to relate to what I'm saying here. I've had so many mails. I've had such beautiful feedback coming from all of you, such beautiful observations and sharing of your experiences. And thank you so much for believing in what I bring to you, because there's been such positive interaction with so many of you out there. There are some of you who are choosing to like our videos. There's some of you who are watching us silently and There are some of you who are maybe not subscribing or liking us, but still reaching out to us through mail, and of course, there's a whole lot of you out there who are telepathically connected to us by watching our videos, choosing to win a complete silent space. That doesn't mean that you're not open to what we are saying or you're not interested in what you're saying. Your vibrations are also reaching us, so in case you feel like reaching out to us in a more active manner and sharing your experience, or asking us anything, so that you can help yourself to heal better and move away from the suffering or detach yourself from pain and from fears, do write to us in the comment box, or you can mail us. Our details are there, given at the bottom of the video, and also I think in the caption the details are there. So coming back now to this new moon, this new moon does not feel so heavy. It isn't so heavy because, of course, there's so much of inner work each one of you have been doing for yourself. At least the ones who've been aware about energy shifts are tuned into these energy updates. For those of you who are still feeling, you know, um, heavy emotions, dense emotions, you're still feeling very heavy, restless, unsettled, or you're purging a lot of negativity. When we say negativity, it could be anger, sudden bouts of anger and feeling the need for confrontation, or trying to just be into your own space, like a complete hibernation, not want to connect with anybody, not want to talk to anybody, not out of detachment, but out of that numbness, that that kind of makes you feel like, what's the point? I don't want to be connected with anybody. I don't want to be in touch with anybody. I don't want to experience pain through sufferings of others, or I don't want to experience pain at the hands of those people. So if you're still in that phase, then maybe it's time for you to ask yourself, whatever emotion you're feeling, why am I feeling it? And if you're feeling it from that person, take that person to be a mirror. Take that person to be a mirror and say, this mirror is helping me have a reflection of myself, which is helping me purge. Right? So if I'm irritated with somebody, if I'm angry with somebody, then it is something that you need to ask yourself, what is it that I'm getting triggered with, right? It could be somebody's behavior, somebody's silence, somebody's ignorance of you, somebody's unkind words to you. It could be anything. It could be an argument with somebody, or it just could be a thankless act of on somebody's part, or it could be just somebody not valuing you enough, or respecting you, or not loving you enough, or you feel they're not loving you enough. It just might be one of these things, or it could be something completely different. But if you are experiencing any negativity, any intense emotion, you're finding it difficult to breathe, your whole system feels heavy, maybe you are having certain health issues, suddenly there's a pain in the knee, suddenly there's a pain in the legs, suddenly your stomach's gone on a toss, suddenly you feel heavy in your head. Ask yourself, what's happened suddenly? Why am I feeling this? A moment might contribute to it, a situation might contribute to it, a person might contribute to you, or suddenly out of blue, you'll start feeling it. Whatever it is, don't shrug it off. This is the time for you to work on it, because if you are feeling so strongly, towards a situation, a person, a place, a moment, if you're feeling such a strong emotion, that means it hasn't started now, right? This is not the first time. There's a trigger that's bringing your past trauma out. Maybe past as in could be 10 weeks back, 2 weeks back, but my experience says that it goes deeper, because we carry trauma bonds. So then this is the time, new moon is the time, you can look at 7 days prior to new moon, 7 days post new moon, and it's really powerful. 3 days prior to new moon and 3 days post new moon, and of course new moon is new moon. Right? And that's the night that you allow yourself to purge the maximum. So just stronger the emotion, um, it helps to kind of go much deeper and say, wow, I'm feeling it so strong. I'm so angry with that person, or I'm so angry at the situation, or I'm so angry, at myself. Then I guess the trauma runs very deep. The trauma bonds are very, very strong. These trauma bonds could be your attachment to your own fears, your own pains, or attachment to somebody else's pains and fears, or somebody's attachment to your fears and pains, right? Energy exchanges. So, um, how you get rid of it? First, of course, you have to believe that you're carrying trauma bonds, and you're carrying attachment to fears, and you're carrying attachment to um, pains, and you have to somewhere also allow yourself to believe that as a result of that, you are also carrying a lot of energy of suffering, which is, I wouldn't say self-created, but of course, something that you only initiated based on your attachments, right? And there's nothing wrong. Don't think you're weak, or you're a horrible person, or you are a confused person, or you're not worth healing because you've been so attached and you're allowing yourself all that suffering. No, it's a part of our human existence, and we must allow ourselves, and we must um, understand that oh, if one energy leaves, another comes. We should not just get stuck in holding on to that energy, because if we get stuck in holding on to energy of suffering, attachment to pain, attachment to fear, even if we say get stuck by holding on to energy of fear, energy of pain, energy of suffering, energy of trauma, then we are not allowing the new energy to come in, because until you don't release this, you don't create space for the new energy to come in. How the new energy is going to work for you? So even if you do not know the cause, if you're able to figure out, great. But if you do not know, then this is a time for you to sit down and ask yourself, am I holding on to some energy of suffering, some trauma bonds which are causing this kind of a reaction from me, or this kind of an emotion, irrespective of whether I know or I don't know it. Today, I'm choosing willingly, consciously, intentionally to release all this energy of suffering. I don't want to hold on to anymore. It has served its purpose. So, what you do is when you take, so we breathe like what, 16,000 times a day. Imagine if you allow this thought to go in, consciously breathing a few times about releasing suffering and inhaling healing, then your subconscious mind automatically will get programmed. So every day for next, say, 90 days. Now, if you can't do 90 days, at least try with whatever you can do, and then target towards, moving to those 90 days completion. Even if you give yourself 10 minutes every day for inhalation and exhalation, or 10 counts of inhalation and exhalation, there is a subconscious programming that's happening, right? We do very well with habits and with routine. We like routine because that's how our physical world has been structured by us. Our life has been structured, whether it's the number of years that we spend in anything, education, career, when we have to get married, when we have to get educated. There's a structure that we like, right? So there's a routine that we like. So subconscious mind is tuned into that routine. Conscious mind is tuned into that routine. So there is a beautiful alignment between subconscious and conscious whenever we get into a routine. So build that routine for yourself starting today on this new moon. 10 minutes before sleeping. When you lie down or you're sitting, allow yourself to breathe in deep. And when you're breathing in deep, let the energy of healing come in. Say, whatever energy of healing is aligned, let me receive it. Or make it more simple. Say, with every breath, I allow energy of healing to go inside me, go to each and every cell in my body. And with every breath that I exhale, I release energy of suffering, because you're already purging. Your water is very heavy. It's already bringing all the negativity, all the emotional, dense energies, all the stagnant emotions out onto the surface. So this is the best time to release it. And then, so first is that you have told yourself by deep breathing, or by just lying down in regular breathing. What will happen is, once you've done your breathing tonight and you sleep, your subconscious will start taking that command, right? Breathe in means energy of healing. Breathe out means releasing energy of suffering. Do it every night for whatever number of days you can do. If you can put it into practice, great. Otherwise, take a break, go back again, take a break, go back again till you've been able to make it a part of your routine, part of your structure. So, what better day than today to start this exercise? I wish you all the best with your healing journey with us, and tune in and stay tuned in for more updates and more insights into healing yourself at various levels.